and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Otandra Ngosi. So grateful that you could join me today. On this episode, we are at Reserved. The address is down below. Please, if you come here, try their burger. You have to try their cheeseburger with chips. There is a sauce that they use. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not a mayo. It's amazing. Please do try it. You're going to love me for it. On today's episode, we're talking about becoming. We've been having a chat about purpose, about how your adverse childhood experiences, childhood trauma can inhibit you from fulfilling your purpose. Today we're talking about, Otandra Ngosi, I've gone through these things. You've told me that they can, impact me participating with God's plan over my life. How do I become? How do I finally become the person that God wants me to be so that I can do the things that God wants me to do? If you read, Ephesians 2, from verse 9 to 10, you'll understand that's where I got the math of purpose. I call it the math of purpose. Before you can do, you need to become. You will read there that Paul says that we are born of God, not of our own doing, so that no one can boast. And we are the workmanship of Christ, created to do the good works that were preordained for us. So the you were born of God speaks to the identity part. It speaks to the I am part. Before you can do anything, you need to become. That's why we are called human beings and not human doings. That speaks to us becoming first before we can do. When you know who you are able to do what you need to do. For you to know why you are, you need to know who you are, so that you can understand what you need to do. We know that a car drives, it needs to drive you around because we have given it a name. It's called a car. Every creator engages in the process of creation, and it will give a name to what they've created so that whatever that they've created can be given purpose. So you create a cup. You call it a cup for the purpose of drinking. We know that it's for the purpose of drinking because it's called a cup. So if you do not know who you are, you will not be able to know who or what your assignment is, rather. I'll tell you a story of how I became. It's a long process, and I'm going to share it here on this episode. Tips, that you can use. The first thing that I needed to do was consolidate my past. That is, confront my past. Part of confronting your past, pain demands to be felt. If you do not feel the repressed emotions in psychology, you will learn that there are what we call repressed emotions, emotions that you've kept at bay. Remember, we spoke about the fact that these things that happen to you at an early child or early stage are at your subconscious level. So people have repressed anger, they've got repressed resentment, and they keep expressing it at the wrong places. You are angry at your parents for what they did and did not do, but that anger is being expressed towards your children. It's expressed, at work. It's expressed towards strangers. Road rage. You find that you always react bigger than what the situation demands. You always react out of proportion. That is because you've got emotional states that are within you that you have not expressed. And part of you healing or starting your healing journey, you'll have to confront those emotions. You'll have to, you might not have to tie them to an experience, but you must feel them, because emotions are energy in motion, and energy will always demand to be expressed. So that's the first thing that I did. I had to confront my emotions. I had to confront the emotional states that I was in and replace them. That's the other second thing that you need to do. Once you have expressed the emotions, the anger, part of expressing is writing letters. I call them, confrontational letters. Writing letters to the people that harmed you as a child, the people that hurt you as a child. And after you have written that letter, speak as if that person was there. You will feel the emotions that you have towards that person. Sometimes you may not be able to feel it. You have to do it with a professional. A professional has to facilitate the session. If that helps, please do try it out. But if you are able to get in touch with those feelings, because the other problem about repressed emotions and emotions that are from your childhood is that they are trapped, right? They are repressed. So they are in your emotional brain. And sometimes the channel between the emotional brain and the thinking brain is closed. So while you may remember what happened, you are not able to tap into the emotions. And that's why you will need a professional to facilitate the connection, because you have closed your brain to protect you, has closed that channel between what happened to you and the emotional states that it created. Right. So, in that sense, or in that regard, you'll need a professional. How do you know that channel is closed? You can tell your story with a straight face. Yes, I have clients that I've seen, and I ask them what happened to you, and they tell me their story, a very painful story, with a straight face. They don't shed a tear. They don't express any emotion. That's when you know that that connection that needs to happen, or that connection between the thinking brain and the emotional brain is closed. So in that case, you will need a professional. But if you are able to connect them, you're able to reach the emotions to the experiences that you've experienced, please do write confrontational letters. Do not keep those confrontational letters, and write them piece by piece, stage by stage. So if today you're addressing your mom, don't address your mom and dad. It's going to overwhelm you. Take it one step at a time. Whoever you need to address one person at a time, and speak as if they were there. Do not hold back. If you want them to die, get hit by a train, please tell them you want them to die and get hit by a train, because that thing already exists in you. It's thoughts that you're having, and you need to express them. You need to let them out. Once you are done with those confrontational letters, please do me a favor. Do not keep them with you. Burn them. You have to burn them, because remember I said to you, emotions are energy in motion. You've expressed them. Now they are on this paper. They are represented by this paper. If you keep them, you're holding on to the pain. You need to release them using the element of fire. Burn them. And when you burn them, look at them burning and tell yourself that you have expressed that experience. You have expressed the emotions that are tied to that experience. And I want you to think of it. Here's a class. I want you to think of it like this. Say this is you. You are full of anger, right? The more you express the emotions, the more they decrease. So, see, the glass is no longer full. It's half empty, because I've drank it. Now, this is you. The more you engage in expression, the less the emotions that are tied to those painful experiences will be. And remember that your body keeps the score. We think with the brain, but we feel with the body. And that's why a lot of people sometimes are not able to move on from painful circumstances, because they've dealt with it from the brain in their thinking, but they've never engaged the body. You find that you have back pain, you have headaches, you have hip pain, joint pain. You know, when we can delve deep into emotional healing, we'll find that that back pain, I suffered from a back pain here. My mom, in fact, thought that I've got a problem, I need to go see a doctor. Some nurse said I tore a nerve. This back pain was forever there, ever since I was a child. I didn't know before I started healing that this back pain was due to my trauma. I had post traumatic stress disorder. It was here. I felt it here a lot, and I couldn't, like, nothing could heal it. I drank painkillers, nothing could heal it. So if you've never dealt with your pain, it still exists. It exists in your body. So you'll find that that pain, whatever you had as chronic pain that you're struggling with, whether that be joint pain, whether that be back pain like me, hip pains, that's where a lot of trauma gets stored on your on your hips, on your joints, on your back. The more you express it, the more you are able to move on, because you are depleting the emotions that are stored in your body. So this is what happens when you don't engage the body. You may have thought about it, you may have parked it in your brain, you've dealt with it. A lot of people tell me, well, what's underlying? Because I've moved on. How? I've just decided to delete it out of my mind. Yes, you have, but the body has not forgotten. So when the body has not forgotten, remember, you've been conditioned to stay in anxiety, you've been conditioned to stay in anger. You've moved on from a thought level, but you still have thoughts that pop up now and then. They pop up now and then. It's because that pain still exists in your body. And because your body is still conditioned in anger, is still conditioned in anxiety. But when you engage your body in your healing modalities, you are able to completely move on from the experience. The other thing that you need to do to complete the cycle of healing in your life is edit the stories. I spoke about it in our last episode. Edit the belief system. Please do go back and watch that other episode where I chat to you about how to discover the belief system. So you release the emotional states that are tied to your life that are negative. You can engage in confrontational letters. You can engage in meditation. You can engage in affirmations. How affirmations will help you is when you affirm something, I am beautiful, think about how it feels to be beautiful, because what you're doing now is you are using the positive emotion to replace the negative emotion. You are not delving in the experience, but you are using the principle of replacement to get rid of the negative emotional states. You are engaging the positive one. The more you do that, this one will be more, the positive one will be no more, and the negative one will decrease. And then you edit the stories about your life. I am bad. Instead of saying I'm bad, you'll say I am great, and you'll think about what it feels like to be great. The more you do that, the more you'll be conditioned in this new way of life, and you will become the person that you feel and think you are. And it's very important that the feeling goes with the thinking, because the language of your subconscious mind, remember we are dealing with the subconscious mind, the language of your subconscious mind is emotions. The language of your thinking mind, the conscious mind you're using to listen to me, is thoughts. The reason why sometimes affirmations don't work is because you are using the wrong language. You are using the language of your conscious mind. I'm good, I'm lovely, I'm great. That's for the conscious mind. But if you can use the conscious mind to communicate with the subconscious mind, you're using the conscious mind to choose the thought. Yes, I'm great. Not only that, but I feel it. You imagine, how does it feel like to be great? What does it mean? How does it look like? Now you're engaging the subconscious mind. And when you do that, whatever that is negative will be replaced. You are using the principle of replacement. It will be replaced by the positive that you have begun to embark on. And that's how you become. I wish above all that you may prosper as your soul prospers, and I wish you all the best in your journey of becoming and your journey of discovering your purpose. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Please send this video to somebody that you think would benefit from it. Thank you. Have a great one.